Welcome back to the strangest corner of the internet, everybody. Yay! Today we got part 2 of the creepy TikToks. We talk about aliens, the UFOs, the Martians, the paranormal stuff, the conspiracies, and we got a ton of them today. Like the video if you want to see more of this content. Dislike the video if you don't like what you see. I mean, like, listen, man, we about to dive right into this content here at Boo Boo, and I think you're gonna like it. Alright, roll it.
Know the guy that killed Tupac, how that was just discovered. Yeah. Same as like Keith D. He just came out in court and said that he was paid $1 million in 1996. Guess who paid him?
Bill Gates!
No, P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
What?
Yeah, he's been.
What? Okay, so
This whole time, dude.
So now there's going to be an investigation, full-on investigation, because Keith D said that P. Diddy paid him $1 million in 1996 to kill Tupac.
Could you imagine if that comes out true?
Oh my gosh.
Need him more close. That was one of those things where it's like you never thought was going to get saved. It's kind of like a John Benet Ramsey thing.
Yes.
It's like this is no one's ever going to know. So when I saw that, I was like, how could they be sure? But this dude apparently had like newspaper clippings of of the crime and everything. I'm like, and that isn't obviously there's a lot more to it, but it's like that's creepy alone.
Yeah.
Was there strife?
Yeah.
There's a ton. Yeah, East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah.
Rap gang?
holy crap.
Not gangs, but it's just like East Coast, West Coast
gang
rap.
related.
Well, yeah, there was gangs involved, but I'm not saying like they weren't like leading a gang.
No.
It's there was just a bunch of beef with all the.
Okay, we need to investigate. We need more on this one. Like, I would still take it as like not 100%, but what if this is like all true though?
All those people back there.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, Diddy can't catch a break, can he? Everything he's done bad is coming to light. Everything's coming back to bite him. I love it. I'm here for the ride.
Before the military could get here, a civil engineer surveying for an irrigation project came upon the site by accident. His name was Grady Barnett, by all accounts a no-nonsense fellow. Barnett's close friend, Vern Maltese, remembers Barney telling him about finding the bodies and how he described them.
Aliens?
She said, well, I'm going to tell you something that I'm not supposed to divulge. And he come across this object on the ground, which was the shape of a flying saucer that hadn't split open. So he jumped out of his pickup and went down there, and there was 4 beings laying on the ground. And they were in a sort of a silver-colored suit, and they were about 3 to 4 feet high.
Damn.
And the suits were rather tight-fitting, and they had
Okay, yeah, we always hear like little gray aliens, little green aliens as well, right? They also hear 8 foot, 9 foot, 10 foot. You remember the Las Vegas incident that happened recently? It's either like they're very, very tall or very, very short.
had covering, except there was no covering on the head or none on the hands. And the shape of the heads of the beings on the ground were hairless with a sort of a pear-shaped head. And the hands were exposed. And they had just barely arrived, and there was an archaeology team that had just come up there about the same, just a little bit after Barney. Then the military come in and surrounded the area, and they called all those people that were there from the archaeology team and Mr. Barnett, and they briefed them that this was not to be divulged to anybody, that they were not to say one word about it and forget they'd ever seen anything.
What year it happened? Did he say? I don't think he mentioned year or location.
Barnett said he was standing beside the bodies, close enough to touch them, when the group of archaeologists and students arrived. If the story is true, then here is an excellent group of qualified witnesses in possession of material evidence. In other words, here was proof. But what happened? In no time, the military took charge.
Of course,
They covered the bodies. They herded the archaeologists, the students, and the engineer off to one side and made them face in the opposite direction. This was a matter of national security.
Yeah.
They were not.
Oh, yeah, the national security. We need to protect the citizens of United States of America. Yeah, that's some bunch of bull crap, bro.
Not to talk about it. If any of them did, the government would hear about it, and the government would know how to find them. Soldiers escorted them away from the site and into obscurity. Grady Barnett did tell his boss about the bodies, but the response was ridicule and a common barnyard expletive. After that, Barnett kept most of the details to himself.
This gotta be a bit older, because you just look at the way she's talking and the video quality, no cuts, nothing like that. has to be old, because especially in this day and age with TikTok attention span, you gotta have like cuts like that. You gotta have cuts that like that. You know what I mean? Like faster. I mean also slow with the cuts here. So yeah, it has to be old.
Speaking only to family members and his close friend Vern Maltese. Barnett died in 1969.
Tell you what
Holy
this
crap.
makes me wonder about is
Okay, I'm assuming 1947, so he was talking about that Roswell crash? Because that's what's in my mind right now.
what exactly can the government threaten you with? Let's say that you discovered these alien bodies. You come up, you're driving around one night and you come up on a crash site. You get out and there's a couple of alien bodies laying there, and you see it before the government gets there to contain the situation and cover everything up. Me personally, if I was to come across something like that, even knowing that it would probably ruin the rest of my life and I'd be looked at like...
Yeah, just post it on the internet and then worry about it, I guess, right? Not bad advice, or maybe not bad, maybe not so bad advice, because after then, like, the government pulls up and like, do not share. But officer, I didn't know that you were gonna come here. I made a post on the internet already. Okay, you know what? I'll delete it. 50,000 people have seen it, but I'll delete it. And those 50,000 people like sharing everywhere. Then YouTubers making videos, you're watching them, or perhaps you're also making videos. You're sharing those videos too. I'm sharing. I'm making. Yeah. I think that's the best idea. Just if you see it, just post it and ghost it and worry later.
Like some crazy person, I'd be out there telling everybody. I don't care what the government said. But this just makes me wonder, what exactly could they threaten people with outside of, you know, flat out saying we'll kill you? What can they threaten people with that would make people not talk? I know that the government has like their means of putting pressure on people. Still, there's only so much they can do. There's only so much they can threaten you with. I think that what it all boils down to is people were more trusting of the government back in like the 50s and 60s and stuff.
Versus now, yeah.
Crashes happened. And they believed the government that this is a matter of national security, so we'll be quiet and keep our mouths shut, just like you ask. And I think that's why a lot of people cooperated.
And the first thing I said earlier on, national security, that's a bunch of bull squash. But the crazy part here is that back in the days, people actually believed all of that.
I think if this stuff was to happen today, you'd have people singing like birds.
The body of a Neanderthal baby girl was discovered, a Neanderthal infant. She was so well preserved. Never have they seen this kind of preservation before. The DNA was so intact that scientists were able to extract that DNA, build the genome, and compare Neanderthal, her body, her genome, her DNA to ours today. What I was taught when I was in school, what you were taught, is that Neanderthals are our ancestor, that we descended from Neanderthals. Quote, the results suggest that modern human was not, in fact, descended from Neanderthal.
What?
Neanderthal is not we didn't descend from them. It's not our ancestors. As a matter of fact, what they're showing is not only did we not come from them, but we shared the earth with them. We walked the earth with Neanderthal.
Crap.
We, as modern humans, we walked the earth with them. They said we probably had Neanderthal boyfriends and girlfriends. You know, you laugh when you hear that, but I have to tell you, I shared that in a live audience.
So I'm convinced that we did live at the same time as Neanderthals. I do believe that. I don't think that we are evolved from them. For one thing, I think evolution is bunk. I think it's bogus. I wouldn't say it's been disproven, but it's a theory for a reason. There's never been any concrete evidence to prove that evolution is anything more than just a theory. I'm convinced that because Neanderthals looked so similar to us, but they were wild, they were animalistic.
Yeah.
And I'm convinced that they are the reason that we have this uncanny valley phenomenon where we can see a face that looks close to human, but it's not perfect, not quite right, and we could pick up on it. And I think that was from looking at Neanderthals.
Maybe.
They looked so much like us, but just off enough that we knew to be scared of them.
I also saw that you said you took too many shrooms when you were young, and that led you to have hallucinogen persisting perception disorder, HPPD. Can you explain what this is?
Well, that condition is classified by persistent visual snow, floaters.
Of course it is.
Morphing objects, like I see them right now. I see them all the time.
The snow's in the room.
The snow's definitely in the room. It's all over you. And basically, it wasn't that I took too many shrooms. I think that it was I took about an eighth of semi-essence mushrooms, which are the ones that come from the earth instead of cow shit. And I took an eighth of those at my friend Toby's house, and which is a normal amount, but I was in 8th grade. So I woke up the next morning with these extreme, visual distortions, and I thought that it would go away. I tried to make it go away, but there's really no cure for HPPD. It's a lifelong.
I heard a lot about mushrooms, but I never understood, like, it's the mushrooms that you put on, like, the pizza?
Bruh.
Oh, probably not, of course. Like, well, but like, yeah, I don't know anything about it. I guess it's good that you don't know. Maybe. Is that, yeah, I don't know, bro. What kind of mushrooms?
Long conditions.
I mean, I understand what kind of mushrooms he's talking about, but it's like, how do they look like? Is it like the normal mushrooms grows, or is it like something else?
It's just a matter of dealing with it and realizing that it is only visual. So when people ask me, hey, I have HPPD, how do I cope with it? I say, remember that every other sense that you have, what you can hear, what you can taste, your feet on the ground, you're still on Earth, you're still here.
Well, you said it's only visual.
Damn.
And yes, gratitude for being alive at all.
Yeah.
It's great. But you said that this led you into some dark psychological places like depersonalization disorder.
Yeah. Depersonalization is the feeling that you are not real, but that reality still exists. Derealization is the idea that reality itself is an illusion created by your mind, and that you're the only person alive, and that everything that your brain is projecting to your visual cortex is a lie, and that you're the only living human being.
Both are pretty intense.
HPPD creates both of those things. And so when I've talked to people who have the condition, it's really either or, but more than 70% of people with HPPD fall into either category. They're both coping mechanisms for I don't know what really happens. I talked to a researcher once.
Any of you ever done mushrooms? Or if you have knowledge, definitely let me know in the comments. I probably made an ignorant comment, I understand that. It's just that I'm ignorant on the entire mushroom thing.
His name Dr. Abraham. He lives in upstate New York. He's the leading scientist when it comes to HPPD research. He's the only one who actually seems to care about finding a cure. And the only known treatment right now is alcohol and benzodiazepines.
That's not good.
Right. So alcoholism, something that came into my life pretty early. Alcohol abuse as a result of that experience, because that helps with the visual symptoms, makes some of the static go away.
Man.
Never tried benzos though.
So can you explain to me where in that spectrum you are? Like, so do you sometimes have a sense that you're not real?
Sometimes.
And something else is not real? Like the reality's not real?
Yeah, I experience it all the time, But like I said, my job helps with that, because I get to feel like when you seek out extremes to a certain extent and you put yourself on the front lines of intense events, whether it be politically or socially, or just dive into deep fringe subcultures, you get this feeling that you're real. And being filmed is also confirmation, if you can look at the MP4 file, that you're in fact living here on Earth.
Holy crap. So why would you do that if you like feel that way, right? Brother is like looking for second confirmations that, hey man, I'm still here, bro. You're with us, bro. You're with us, right? You have to look for confirmation. Damn, that's freaky.
Confirming that you were in it with reality by watching yourself on video.
Exactly.
Crazy, man.
So is that basically the engine behind all the extreme interviews you've done?
Well,
Maybe
I got HPPD around the same time that I began this journalism course in 9th grade. So I sort of always used journalism as a therapeutic mechanism to deal with some of these symptoms, especially depersonalization. There's some pretty good illustrations of what it feels like. Kind of feels like you're trapped behind your eyes, or that you're just this like nebulous soul that's trapped in a flesh suit that you're not really a part of. You're sort of puppeteering a flesh and bone skin suit.
Trapped? Or just the ability to step outside of yourself?
You feel like your soul is not something that is connected to your body. It's something living in your head.
Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Welcome on in.
It's really hard to explain to people who haven't gone through derealization or depersonalization. But if you go on support groups, they always say, like, how do I break free from behind my eyes? Like, dark stuff like that.
Oh, so you're trapped. I mean, there's a higher state of being through meditation that you can kind of step outside of yourself. but this is not that.
Yeah, this is the type of thing that you don't want to try though. Yeah, like yeah. If any of you tried it, yeah, let us know your experience for sure. Because I heard a lot about DMT from Joe Rogan, quite frankly, and Joe Rogan talks about DMT all the time, and we heard that DMT actually makes you feel like that you open up a new portal, you go in another dimension. You're still here, but like in your mind, you go somewhere else, and we do not know if that's real or not. People say it's real, but the part that nobody knows if it's real or not is that brain like producing that, or you like actually your soul goes somewhere and you have that link back on Earth and you get to experience that. It's like, is your brain making that and it's all happening inside your head, or it's that you go somewhere, obviously not physically but spiritually, you go somewhere else. So that's a part of DMT, because there are a lot of cases, a lot of people have done DMT, and I heard that it was legal, now they made it illegal. Go figure, that's another conspiracy in itself, that yeah, why did they make it illegal though? Why did they make it illegal, right? So a lot of people were doing it, a lot of cases of people coming back and they have like a new sense of understanding about reality, and they're like, yeah, well, this could not be it. What I mean by this is that when you die, like this here cannot be it. There is something else that comes after and once you die. So that's like the crux, that's like the main thing people talk about when they do DMT. I've never done it. I'm not sure if I'm not even sure if it's legal here. I heard like it's legal now in parts of the states. Not sure about Canada. Probably is in Canada too, but I never really bothered looking that up.
Unfortunately, it was kind of the meditative path, or the Eastern path that I took, and kind of fused that with psychedelic culture in Seattle, that took me down the psychedelic use rabbit hole in the first place. So like I'd say it all started with Siddhartha.
That's a good book. Have you done shrooms since then?
No, I don't really do psychedelic drugs, but like a lot of people think that I'm against them, which I'm not. It just doesn't work for me. If it works for you, I'm sure they can be really fun. Especially, I know there's
DMT?
lots of like therapeutic uses for acid and ketamine and psilocybin, but I personally abstain from those kind of anything psychotropic. I try to stay away from.
Drinking a bit?
Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't drink at all before I had the HPPD stuff, and I would have drank later in life, but definitely like 14, 15. Every day after school, I'd drink a 40 ounce of Mickey's. It's like it kind of looks like Old English, but the bottle's green and it has a hornet on the side of it. Just kind of became a ritual just to deal with the anxiety of that situation.
Man, that's sad. Not trying to judge the guy, but like that's insane at 14, 15 years old. Man, I remember like what was I drinking at 14, 15? Fanta. Bruh. Yeah, mama was like, no more Fanta for you if you do this. No more Fanta for you if you do that. So I was like, yeah, man, I need my Fanta. I need my Fanta, mommy. I need my Fanta, man. So I tried to be a good kid, and I received my Fanta on time. Bro. Good times, man.
It made the snow go away?
Yeah, alcohol really works to suppress HPPD symptoms.
If there's ever been a PSA that would steer me away from trying mushrooms, this is it. Every time you hear about someone taking mushrooms, you only hear about the good experiences, and if they have like a bad trip or something, it's temporary.
They don't talk?
This guy's got permanent psychological damage. That's the way I look at it. I mean, he's not normal. Yeah, that's enough to keep me away from it. I won't be experimenting with any mushrooms.
Who is the creator?
But like still, I know I made an ignorant comment, and I'm about to make another one, but like I really want to know, is it like the normal like mushrooms? Probably not, I'm assuming. But still, can it actually be like the mushrooms that you put that sometimes people put on pizza? Bruh. Because if that's the case, I'm never gonna have those damn mushrooms ever. What if our entire existence resides inside an artificial simulation? Yeah. What if we are in a simulation?
Of the simulation.
Some people say it's aliens. There was a professor at Oxford who wrote a paper about this back in 2003 named Nick Bostrom, and he thinks it's future versions of ourselves. So he thinks we're in what we'd call an ancestor simulation. Like if we created a game of ancient Rome, they would be like our ancestors in a way. There are others who say it's God or pure consciousness outside of the matrix. So all the religions, not just any specific religion, but pretty much all of them, have been telling us that the physical world is not the real world, that there's another world out there beyond this.
Yeah.
And so that's yet another theory of what's outside.
Do you believe this is probable, possible?
I believe it's probable, like more than a 50% chance.
Man.
That we are inside some type of...
Those are pretty high odds.
Well, yeah, and as I studied the different religions, I realized that they were telling us the same thing that modern computer science and that modern physics is starting to tell us about the nature of reality.
This goes back to a video that we had a couple days ago where they were talking about the theory that we were actually created by an advanced civilization on accident with a large hadron collider. Whenever they were smashing particles, they accidentally created a universe and then figured out a way to go in and out of that universe and study it, and that's our universe. So, if you combine that theory with this, then it could be that an advanced human civilization created us, accidentally created this universe, and they're the ones that are popping in and out, flying all these weird crafts and stuff that we see in the sky. One day, we, with our Large Hadron Collider, smashing a bunch of particles around, are going to accidentally create a universe, and so that's just the next step in the evolutionary chain. Evolutionary meaning technological evolutionary jump, not a physical evolutionary jump.
Symbolism will be...
Yeah, I feel like that the theories and all of that has been really coming out nowadays, right? Like you hear a lot about like, yeah, we are in a simulation, we're in a simulation. I don't believe into that, but like a lot of people are like, yo, the guy was saying like 50% odds, more than 50% odds that we are in a simulation. Like that's a very high odds. If I have to believe in this one, I would not go more than like 5 or 10% odds. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong. Nobody knows, right? Till this shit is over. But holy crap, what if we are? What if we are in a simulation? I don't think we are, but if we are, that's insane, bro. That's insane.
Be their downfall. Or is it just art? And let me be the first to tell you, it's all connected. I mean, if you know, you know. But first, let's go back to that video of Ellen DeGenerate. When the camera turns, you can see the inside of her house. Now, see that picture right there? Well, if you pause it and look it up, it says evil thoughts with revenge right next to it. Here's another picture of Ellen in her house, and this is the picture behind her. Now, the thing I'm curious about is the letters on top of the picture. These look oddly similar to the letters Marina Abramovich writes out when she does spirit cooking. Remember the beginning of the video? It's all connected. And that person that was in all red is Lady Gaga, and she went to Marina Abramovich many times for teaching. But let's continue. This is another picture of Ellen in her home. She's cutting her mother's hair, but what is that picture above her head?
Oh my god. Man, the way that TikTok was edited too, holy crap, bro, the editing was top level, man. It boosts up the creepiness of the video, especially with the images. And those images real? Those images really in her home? God damn! What the hell?
I love his nickname for her, Ellen DeGenerate. It's certainly fitting. With all the stuff coming out about P. Diddy and all this witchcraft stuff that's going on stage with Taylor Swift and Lana Del Rey and all these others, I feel like it's time that we stop idolizing these people and putting them on a pedestal and start looking down on.
I absolutely agree. 110%. Idol worshipping is the worst thing ever. You can be a fan, understandable, but I heard a lot about this like witchcraft and stuff, but I'm ignorant on it because I'm not the audience. I'm not the target audience. I'm aware of Taylor Swift because she's big, but I never really listened to her songs. You know what I mean? I'm not a fan, not a hater, not a fan, just not for me is what I'm saying. But I heard a lot of that, a lot of these conspiracies and all that. But yeah, people really do worship them like they're gods. Like that's insane. Nobody should do that. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're just people like you. You can be a fan. You can be a diehard fan. That's different though. Being a fan versus like idol worshipping, like putting somebody as a like on that place. That's just absolutely insane.
On them instead of looking up. I don't think it's just us that are constantly in search for the truth that are waking up to this stuff. I think the population as a whole is starting to wake up and realize These are really, really stupid and evil people that we're all looking up to. I think the days of celebrity stardom and celebrity status, I think those days are coming to an end. And personally, I look forward to it. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips of what...
Guys, this was the part 1 that we've done. Not sure if you guys were able to see it or not. Yeah, check out the part 1. Part 1 was also, we had like really, really good clips into that one. Check it out, and I'll see you right there.